So I guess we have to talk about flat Earth.
Do we really have to?
Well, it's a thing, and it's my show, so yes.
I mean, it's not like all of the space programs are fake, right?
No, how do we know?
Yeah, how do we know?
I'm open to it.
Me too.
Is any of it real?
None of it. But don't tell anyone, okay? Wait, you're not recording this, are you?
Did I tell you about the Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app?
Oh my God.
We know.
We know. Everyone knows. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
This is just a trick, like everything at NASA. But you know what isn't? Flat Earth. Oh, shut up.
If you're not moving with flat Earth, then you're just standing still. Got that?
Flat Earth. Again. Why can't we seem to get rid of it?
Because it's probably true.
Go to commercial.
I think if people want to investigate flat Earth, they should be able to without censorship. Do your own research and always ask questions.
If you're not fighting for flat Earth, then what are you fighting for? To victory!
Space, the boundary of human achievement, the new frontier.
It's just a coffin.
Yeah, right. And the Earth is flat.
In a few moments, you will have an experience which will seem completely real. It can be extremely harmful and result in severe trauma. You have 5 seconds to terminate this tape. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Flat Earth expert Mark Sargent thinks the moon landing was a hoax.
Technically, the moon itself is a hoax.
Right, but betting with Sportsbet's new iPhone app?
I could do this standing on my head.
Thanks, Gravity. Sportsbet's new iPhone app. It's foolproof.
I know how we're different. Do you believe the Earth is flat?
I know it's flat. I walk on it.
Holy sh**.
Do you think the Earth is flat, Snoop? What do you think?
It's a flat world after all.
Smoke weed every day.
Broadcasting straight to you from a large spaceship currently at war with mainstream science. Got to flip these around so DJ's over there. Meanwhile, the peanut gallery is wondering what the next distraction will be. Maybe Mark will be abducted by aliens. Oh, by the time this year's over, you may wish that very thing.
We can only hope.
Oh, please.
Beam me up, too.
Please. If I ever find my key fob for the spaceship, I'm absolutely going to. Welcome to Strange World, where the truth is often stranger than fiction. I'm your host, Mark Sargent, the creator of Flat Earth Clues, which propose that all of us are living inside a Tribune show with closed structure, thousands of miles wide. Just Google Flat Earth Mark. If you can't find it, well, you're just not very good at the internet. Currently, the show is on Tuesday nights at 7 Pacific, 10 Eastern, and yes, Carolina, but it is not March 17th, 2026. Otherwise known as the future, otherwise known as Act 3, otherwise known as Anything Goes.
Literally anything goes.
Literally anything goes. You wait. It's going to get weirder than you are listening to a rerun. Don't forget the show can be found on BitChute and Variety, on Rockfin and Rumble. YouTube is not the end of Flat Earth. It is only the beginning. Quote of the day goes like these 5 things that you can find in life's little book of instructions. Yeah. Buy it anywhere. It was published in 1940. And I've been editing these, just so you know, but just to make it more modern because some of it is a little wordy. Okay, so number 76. Find a local charity and support it generously. Yep, I agree.
Lovely.
Local charity. If that means your local animal shelter, your local food shelter, whatever it is. Number 77. Don't take good health for granted. Yes, very much so. Don't rest on your laurels. Good health, it's important. Number 78, never close the door on an opportunity when someone wants to hire you. This was an interesting one because I understand what he means, which is somebody offers you a gig, don't just immediately turn it down. Think about it for a while. Talk to the person involved and see, because again, opportunity knocks. That's the reason why they say that.
Yeah, just be a yes person.
Be a yes person. Say, yeah, you know what? I might be interested.
Think about it.
It may not be a fit, but I say yes to everything. Again, the reason why I'm talking to you now is I said yes 11 years ago. Greatest decision I ever made. Number 79, don't do drugs and stay away from drug addicts. Now, there's a little fudge room on that. And by that, I mean, don't do the really, come on. We know that marijuana is legal in all sorts of different places now. So I wouldn't even call that. This isn't we're talking about the main stuff. Stay away from people that offer you needles. How about that? And number 80, find someone to slow dance with. Yeah.
Oh,
I know. That one. It's like, oh, it's very
sweet.
true though. I mean, that's a tall order. Maybe I'll find someone someday. My co-host right next to me is the always delightful DJ Curious. What's happening, DJ?
What is up, Strange World? Woo! I hope my is it working? Oh, good. We were having some technical difficulties backstage.
Yeah, luckily you have a bad mic or a backup mic, which is, if you guys know, if you're listening and I miss it for whatever reason, if DJ all of a sudden sounds like he's far away, that's because his camera mic is picking him up. Let me know or post it in chat because DJ will watch chat more than I will. And below me, just for a second or two, is going to be Peanut Gallery, but we're going to be kicking him off because we're bringing on 2 guests. And let's just face it, Peanut, you're just going to be cramping the screen up. So say hi just for a second.
Fine. Throw me to the side. Go ahead.
That's the spirit. All right. Let's see here. Remember, the best way to find other Flat Earth members like yourself is to get the Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. Yeah, it's cheap, it's easy, and you can use it to convert others into the great and powerful Flat Earth army, like DJ and me and Peanut and our special guests and probably everybody in chat and millions of people in different parts of the world. We're everywhere. In fact, that's a Bond quote, isn't it? I'm still waiting to use that on somebody someday, which is, if I'm sitting in a chair, it's like, the first thing you should know about us is that we have people everywhere. Right? Am I right?
Them out.
Yeah, and freak them out. And then all of a sudden, the cameraman, it's like he throws me a hand sign. Oh, so sleepy. And because it's 10 p.m. on the East Coast, it's time to say goodnight to one of our listeners. Paige. She's just put on her 1977 CB Bears pajamas. Yep, got a cup of cocoa with exactly 6 tiny marshmallows, and we'll probably listen to the playback in the morning. Good night, Paige.
Good night, Paige.
You know, I've been going through because we do a different cartoon series every week, and we've been starting since the mid 60s, and we've been working our way up. We're at 1977 right now. Amazing. I remember I'm only using the US ones, not Japan or Europe or France or any of the other countries that did cartoons. It's amazing the amount of animated shows that we have produced over the years. It's incredible.
I didn't even realize other countries did animated cartoons, really.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you bet. You bet they did. Well, Japan's got to be the biggest.
Okay,
yeah. The whole anime thing. I mean, they had stuff that was eventually dubbed over here. I remember going back in the day. So does Peanut. I'm sure you could type in some of my favorites would have been Space Battleship Yamato, Speed Racer, Marine Boy. Oh, yeah. Great stuff.
Well, I guess I was thinking of like 1960s cartoons from other countries, like European. I wasn't thinking Japan, but that makes sense. When did anime come out?
Boy, Peanut, can you look that up? When was some of the early anime in Japan? Battle of the Planets. Yeah, that was good. Oh yeah. I don't know off the top of my head. I would like to say 70s, but it's probably 60s.
Is it really? Okay.
No, yeah, because remember they were doing Godzilla back in the 60s.
Yeah. So well, that was black and white.
No, well, yeah, that too. Okay. Show the background. Yeah, let's show the background really fast. So DJ and I came up with this. So this is the animated background, and this is what AI.
I don't know what's going on there.
AI did it. So the original shot, is what you see in the beginning, and then it put bubbles around everybody's head, and yeah. So I think it went up. What it did was it took your orange outline around the alien, and then it just put it on to those guys.
Right. Look at what Jeremiah's got a fantastic smile.
Yep. And now he's with the aliens.
The
Which one's the alien? It doesn't matter. Okay. So let's go to we'll go back here. Let's see. Hey DJ, you wouldn't happen to have any night vision sitting next to you, do you?
Why? So funny you should ask.
Oh, wow.
I have these amazing
night vision binoculars. I really only endorse the people from our community, and one of our community members is selling night vision that is made. I don't know where it's made, but it's good stuff. I've actually got a pair, and they can record. They've got 5x zoom power, and they don't self-destruct when you use it in sunlight. Really, really wonderful. If you're interested, discover night vision watching techniques. Go to watchingangels.org, won't you? Pick up a pair, and he'll be at conferences as well if you wanna wait for the special. But I wouldn't wait for the special. I'd call him. Earliest films. Peanut said, "Oh yeah, Japanese cinema has been around for a long time. Very creative group." Yeah, Astro Boy was one of the early ones, 1963. But they were doing stuff. They've been doing animation going all the way back to the 30s and 40s. Oh, very, very creative. Okay.
Cool.
So, go back to my notes. I know 1917. I know it kind of predates. Doesn't that predate Disney? Yeah, predates Disney. 1917. Yeah, cool. All right, shout outs obviously too. Where's my sticker? Flat Earth, Stephen Carpenter of the Deftones. Check him out, won't you? Go to Be Real TV, the Dr. Green Thumb Show. Stephen was just on last week for episode 555. He will probably be on episode 567. Why? Because he's a numbers guy and he's kind of weird, and I respect that. I do.
He's awesome.
He does. No, seriously. It's got to be a cool number. I know. I'm with you. So he's like 543. Why? Well, because it's sequential, right? 555 and 444. He's been on, I think, 9 times, and now we got 12 weeks from now, and he'll be on for 567. So there you go. If he's not touring, he might be touring. You never know. All right, meetups. Okay, and then we'll do mailbag, and then we will bring on our guests. Okay, so meetups. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. Okay.
Whoa.
I know. Minnesota, March 21st. That promo is on my channel. In fact, all of these promos are on my channel. Tennessee, March 21st and 22nd. West UK, March 31st with Zoom Mark Sargent. He will be there. Hey, that's me. So I will be there doing the West UK thing on March 31st before this show, because March 31st is a Tuesday, right? Yep, it is. I think I did this before. So you will see me, if you want to catch me early, I will be doing the actually I'm not streaming it. Actually, you're not gonna be able to catch me, I don't think. So whatever. But I will be doing that West UK thing March 31st. Pennsylvania, April 4th and 5th. Fresno, California. Fresno? Who the hell goes to Fresno? May 17th. Colorado meetup, June 19th. Missouri meetup, June 20th and 21st. Michigan. So glad you guys sent me these way in advance, because it means I have to read them every week. Missouri, June 20th to 21st. Michigan, July 18th. It's like we're on tour. Utah, August 8th. Texas, that is International Truth Expo. That is November 14th and 15th. In fact, I should probably read this from Carol. November 13th, 14th, and 15th. Right now, DJ and I will be there. Angels of Light, Amy Elohim, and Restored Identity. And she's getting way ahead of it, that's for sure. For those interested in being a presenter, sponsor, or a vendor, contact Carol at info@internationaltruthexpo.com. Tickets are on sale on the website, internationaltruthexpo.com, or you can call her at 888-706-8185. And you remember, this is going to be in Quartzsite, Arizona. If you've never been, it is a trip. Let me tell you, DJ and I went there last year, and it is something.
So much fun. It was a great time. So I hope to see you guys there. And
I have never been lost in the desert, but we were close out there, Quartzsite, Arizona. Okay, mailbag. Thank you, by the way, for everyone who is mailing me things to my to the address, which is 2125 Myres Lane, Langley, Washington State, 98260. Not Langley, Virginia. That's CIA headquarters. Not the same place. Just so you guys know. Totally different ends of the country. Got a couple things. I got a letter from Deborah. I'm not going to say her last name. And she actually, again, loves snail mail. Appreciate it. But I did get your email. I'm pretty sure I responded to it. But she actually printed out the email and mailed it to me, snail mail, just to make sure.
wow.
Thank you. And
That's
she had
dedication.
That is dedication. Thank you. Thank you. Got something from one of our longtime listeners in California. How do I know? Because he sent me the license plate from his car.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool. True Earth.
True Earth. See what he did there? True and Earth. Using the E for two different things. Pretty clever. Pretty clever. And I'm a little surprised that you sent it to me September 2026. It doesn't expire, which means hopefully you got a new plate. But so thank you. Thank you. I'm not going to say who your name is. You know who you are. Came in this nice little package. I'm going to put that up in the garage somewhere next to some of the other plates I have. Again, you guys don't have to send me your license plates, but it's awesome that you do, because again, prove this kind of goes along with the trailer of my channel, which is We Influence the Influencers. And we have Flat Earth license plates in just about every state, and I think half of the Canadian provinces. So the one I really want, if anyone knows anyone, Peanut, can you look this up? What is the province in Canada that has it's not a normal license plate. It's a license plate, but instead of a rectangle, it's shaped like a bear. Have you ever seen that one? It is really, really cool.
That's cool.
I know. That's the one I want. I want a Flat Earth one from the province that's in the shape of a bear. I don't know if is that Yukon? Let me know, Peanut. Find that out for me. And Peanut says Northwest Territories. Damn it. I was so close. I don't even know if anyone lives up there. Probably like 5 people in that whole territory. Okay. And last but not least, look what I got in the mail today, DJ.
Ooh.
Oh, what's this? Am I allowed to say?
Well, no, but
okay. All right. Well, I won't say. But I got a book. It's called an anthology, Timeless, with numbers instead of some of the letters, which is very clever. I'm not going to say who the authors are, but I was very proud. I did not expect to get it today. So very, very cool.
That is cool.
Thank you. Thank you. I know why you don't want me to show it, but I plan on reading it. I'm going to start reading it tomorrow. I'm going to look in on a special story in there. So very, very cool. If you guys don't know, and anthology. I don't know if you can buy it on Amazon yet. Timeless. I did. Wait, who sent it to me? Sandra, was that you? Wait.
That was the Flat Mama.
Sandra sent it to me. Okay, cool.
Yes.
So thank you for that.
But yeah, it's a surprise. So wait till you read it, and then we could talk about it.
All right. I will read it. Well, we don't have to talk about it on air. I mean, I know you don't.
Well, we can, but I want you to read it first. So
all right,
I
will read it first.
Yeah,
I'm very excited about that. What else? Let's talk about the before we bring in our guests. We got a couple minutes. Let's talk about the Oscars real fast. For those of you who forgot, the Oscars just happened on, was that Sunday? Sunday.
Yep.
And Begonia, which was produced and starred Emma Stone, two-time Academy Award winner, who had the surprise flat Earth ending. Spoiler alert! If you haven't watched it by now, tough. I'm giving out a spoiler alert. There's a big flat Earth model at the end, which was not made by Chris Pontius. I know some of you asked me because it looks exactly like a Chris Pontius model.
Sure.
I'm like, no, it is not Chris Pontius model. In fact, there's some CGI being used on the model, and most of mainstream media, for whatever reason, couldn't see it. They couldn't. It was right in front of them. It's like, look, it's a flat Earth model. Anyone not seeing it? In fact, you go to the wiki page. Even the wiki page for the movie says that there's a flat Earth model at the end, and that's the only thing in the scene. It's not like it's this little thing. It's monstrous, as big as my table. And it was nominated for 4 Academy Awards: Best Actress for Emma Stone, Best Picture, Best Music, and Best Adapted Screenplay. They did not win any of them. But
no way, nothing. Damn.
No, they didn't. But it was okay. Again, Emma was in the front row because, as you know, it's Emma Stone, so of course she's going to present. She's going to. She was literally in the front row, super shiny.
She looked great. She looked absolutely stunning.
She looked fabulous. And she is one of ours. I have absolutely no doubt in my mind, because the writer admitted that he didn't know what the hell that was at the end of the movie. He didn't put it in there. It was not in the South Korean version from 2003. Remember, this is a remake. And she was the executive producer, and she was the lead. And further, I've got to state this, because you probably saw this as well, DJ, which was Kirsten Dunst and Jesse Plemons were sitting together, of course, husband and wife, sitting together off to the, if you're looking from the stage, they were off to the left, and they weren't in the front row, but they were in the front row, but off, to the side. And it's like, and I know he was there to support Begonia, of course, but it was absolutely criminal that he was not nominated.
Yeah.
For Best Actor. It's like, wouldn't have been a big controversy if he had lost to Michael P. Jordan. Look, he's a great actor. They're both great actors. In fact, I think it would have spiced it up. It's like, because then Jesse would have been robbed, because I still think he did a better job. No offense to Michael, but come on. It's Jesse freaking Plemons, and he crushed that role. It was basically a two-man show with a sidekick. That's all that freaking movie was. So, but it was fun to watch. As you know, DJ, I think Peanut told me the Academy Awards is, from what I understand, that's the last one they're going to have on network television, and then they are moving to YouTube. Starting, weird. I know. I thought they would have held out, because this was talk about feeling old. This was the 98th Academy Awards. Long time, one of the longest running, if not the longest running award show of all time. And they're just limping to that 100 mark. And they're like, you know what?
Because people don't care as much.
No, and the kids do not watch network television.
Yeah.
They just don't. I mean, this is network. We're not talking Netflix or anything. We're talking, ABC. This was, I think it was ABC. NBC, CBS. The kids don't watch it. They know it. They mentioned it several times during the show, which was, and hang on, correction. The deal begins in 20. Okay, so I was right. All right, so they will, sorry, it wasn't next year. They are going to wait till the 100th.
Okay, that makes sense.
to do it. They're going to wait till the 100th is over, and then they're going to do it.
It might get more views. I mean, that's actually keep up with the times a little bit, because, this funny about this generation that doesn't really care about propping up these celebrities as much as other influencer types. So, the movie star celebrity has kind of diminished its stardom.
Oh, absolutely. It's been diluted by watch the documentary Fake Famous when you get a chance. Social media has watered down the entertainment community to such a degree now that everyone is fighting for eyeballs. Everyone's fighting for the eyes, and it's tough. It's really, really tough. And I don't blame Hollywood for And come on, Hollywood's. This kind of reminds me, again, this dates me. It reminds me, DJ, do you ever know about the Lawrence Welk show?
Nope.
You ever hear about it? Well, perfect example. So the Lawrence Welk show was a big band sort of thing. Lawrence Welk was the conductor, and it was basically a music show. Peanut remembers that show. And the ratings went slower and, lower and lower and lower. So this is way before the internet, and it finally dropped up. Why? Because the people that were watching it were slowly passing away. And so this is different, but the theory is kind of there, which is now everybody's, come on, there's only so much time in the day, and if you're tied to a doom scroll, you watching network? No, you may catch something on Netflix, but I mean, what, a live event that's not a live stream? Are you crazy? So anyway, I again tickled that because it was a first for us, and I don't think it's going to be the last first for us this year, crossing my fingers, that a big flat earth mention was put into a mainstream movie, and it was nominated for Best Picture, and I didn't think it was going to win, of course, but it lost to Best Actress. Anyway, it doesn't really matter.
I don't even know what won Best Picture really quick. Then let's get to the guest.
I know we got to get to our guest. You know who won it? It was the Leonardo DiCaprio movie, which was conspiracy based. Funny enough, also. Battle for something. Peanut. What was it? What was the name? What won Best Picture? And then we'll bring on our guest.
I didn't even hear. I didn't see any of them besides Begonia.
Well, F1 I think was nominated. Sinners, which I was surprised because I watched that. It's like, oh, it's pretty good for a
I know, I cringed hard, but they're like, how about a round of applause for Sinners? And it was just like, I don't know.
One battle after another, and I still haven't watched one battle after another yet. I watched two of them. I watched Begonia. I actually bought that one because of the reference, and then I watched Sinners. But I don't even think the Sinners crew knew they were going to be up for Best Picture. I honestly didn't, because it was released so early in the year, and that's when it's like, you released it that early in the year. You're like, it's probably got nothing.
Well, the conspiracy channels out there that have been roasting Hollywood, Hollyweird, the celebrity, the rituals, and you got the Epstein stuff all coming to a head, and the Weinstein stuff from years past. It's just like not a good taste in a lot of it, like especially our community that doesn't care at all about what these celebrities are doing.
No. And let's face it, if it wasn't for Begonia, I would not have watched it. And the other thing, which I think we talked about in one of our shows, where Emma did that wonderful interview at a film festival, and she was saying yeah, there's conspiracies I can't talk about, right? And it's like, oh yeah, she's us. She's absolutely us.
She's totally
so
interesting. All right, very cool.
All right, so our guest for this evening from channel Skiba News Nation, and if you're wondering, does that name sound familiar? Yes, there is a relation. We're going to bring on Jeremiah Skiba and Jake Grant. Let's add them. Unfortunately, let's pull them in here really fast. We're going to move you up here and you over here.
Yes, welcome Jake and Jeremiah to Strange World. Thanks so much for being here.
What's going on?
Hey. We're so honored to be here.
This is great.
Yeah.
I think
Thanks
a
for
lot of
having
people
us.
are happy to see this kind of the two channels, and plus just your dad's legacy. And we can't wait to get into all the interesting stuff. But just how are you guys doing tonight? And thank you again.
Doing well. Can't complain. I guess.
That's good. I mean, it's
Doing
so
great.
interesting in this community how much we've grown to know your father over the years, and we were all kind of watching as things unfolded during lockdown, and our heart definitely goes out to you and your family with what you've endured the past couple of years between obviously Sheila and Rob. And so it's wonderful to see you carrying on the name, and I can't wait to hear how that even became your focus. So we'll start with that in just a moment. But also welcome Jake. Thank you. It was great to meet you at ITE this year.
Yeah, that was a great time. I really am glad I took the trip down there to visit and just hang around with you guys. It's been a while since I'd been at a flat Earth kind of event, other than the TrutherCon we put on, and it's a lot of people I hadn't seen. I got to see Nathan Thompson. I got to run into Mark and Dave. It'd been quite some time since I'd seen you guys, and it was really cool to get to hang out.
Yeah.
And
you don't have to bring up Dave during the show, though. He doesn't deserve a lot of extra attention. Right?
We are contractually obligated to bring up David Weiss.
He's probably asleep by now anyway. Screw David Weiss. Anyway,
No,
go
I mean,
ahead.
between your guys' event and IT, I think it was really nice to have things for people to look forward to in their areas. And I heard that TrutherCon was absolutely just such a hit and knocked it out of the park. So we'll get into that a little bit. And but I thought it was funny that Jake, you won the banner that Mark was raffling off, the original. What was that? Flat Earth and Other Hot Potatoes banner that everybody signed?
That was the Flat Earth and Other Hot Potatoes
Crazy.
banner. Go figure. Go figure.
Yeah, what a funny, just like getting pulled there. I was like, no way. That's like history. That's like Flat Earth history. And I'm proud to get to hold on to it. And eventually you'll get to see it behind me in some fashion. So I'll let you know once I get it up there, Mark. And
cool.
I'll let you know, if it looks good,
Just so you know, that was the reason why I was prompted. Initially, I had my custom license plate blown up, and then David got a hold of me. He's going, you need something else in the background. People can't read the license plate. The letters are too big. Because you need something smaller. And I go, well, how about I just do Google Flat Earth clues and I'll use. He goes, yeah, but make the Google in like the Google colors. Just replicate. I go, is there copyright? Oh, it's copyright. You'll be fine. So it'll be good. Maybe you should put a blue dot on there. No, that's not true because the blue dots didn't exist when we initially made that banner. So there you go.
Well, I thought it was a very fitting winner.
I'm very grateful that I won that. Although I will say I would have traded it for that final Flat Earth model that Dave ended up winning from everybody. And then I ended up like asking him, how did you do that, Dave? And he was like, oh yeah, I fair and square. And then I asked you, and you were like, well, Dave knows how to stack the deck with these, raffle.
Yeah. You fold the corners on the freaking tickets, and then you have like a 5-year-old reaching in and get the tickets. What do you think she's gonna grab? It's like just whatever sticks to her freaking finger. It was rigged, freaking rigged.
That's crazy.
But in fairness, because it was Sandra's idea, which sorry, Sarah, Sandra, Susan, whatever your name is. She was the one that just goes, because I wasn't going to buy a ticket. She goes, no, you need to buy a ticket. Here's why. She goes, when David doesn't win, you can sell it to him. And
Genius.
He will pay through the freaking nose for that thing. And I told him, he goes, yeah, I probably would have. But he got it for freaking cheap.
Well, I thought it was very fitting because he didn't have a Pontius model, apparently.
No, he didn't. And he was so happy.
He deserves it. And he mounted it on his wall in his little Flat Earth shrine that he has in his room.
Yeah,
So
dedicated a video to it. He was very happy about that. Yeah. And honestly, I didn't want to be greedy. I've got the original from the movie. I've got a custom one that he made for me for interviews. And I've got another one I've given away. I'm an idiot because not too long from now, it's going to be worth something. But anyway, yeah, happy for David.
Well,
but no, he wouldn't have traded you though. Never in a million years.
No. So that model was cool. But the banner, just the fact that Jake, you were front row to so much of the OGs of the Flat Earth movement and the people gathering, obviously with Rob. And I had no idea, but I had seen your footage over the years because shout out to the documentary you did this year called What If the Earth is Flat, which I thought was really fun to watch and very educational and smooth. And you guys did a great job on it. And I was so happy because it's just for people trying to catch up on the past decade of events and the people. And it was really interesting to me to see these, how much has changed in just a short amount of time. So, a great job on that.
Yeah, had a lot of fun making that for sure. And it was actually not put out this year. It was behind a paywall from my old boss at Now You See TV. We had it on the NYS TV website for years. It came out in 2019. And then finally, John gave me permission to release it because I had worked on it while I was under Now You See TV. And so we just got to put it out last year on Skiba News Nation for everybody to see for free. So I actually, if you guys have time later, I have a bunch of deep archive footage that nobody's ever seen before. Funny clips of Mark coming out of FEIC 2017, giving his first initial thoughts. A little clip of Logan Paul. I got an interview with Logan Paul that Robbie Davidson had me chop the heck out of it to make it look like Logan was fully coming around to Flat Earth back then. But I have the uncut interview we can show later. And And I also have because I love the bobblehead intro you guys have. Like you guys gotta send that over to us because I really think that's super cool. But it reminded me of a picture Jeremiah made of me like holding him back from being sucked up into space by a UFO.
Isn't it on your background on your phone?
Yeah, I have it here up on StreamYard if you want to show it. But it reminded me of this picture where I'm like trying to hold him back. It's funny because it's like it's such a like an interesting parallel to the whole ethos of our show and stuff. Where it's me and him, we're like taking on all these conspiracy topics and it's really funny that you guys had that interest.
Is Charlie in that one? My cat, or he's like,
oh no, let me see. No, I think this is just the first one you sent me. I have to find the other one.
Jeremiah's background looks so cool. That's all real, right? Like the clock.
Oh yeah, that's all.
Yeah, that looks all
legit.
And
pardon my, I have a beef with Helen Keller, so that's what that picture is. If you're curious, and then I got my Obama picture up here, and
that's Tropic Thunder, right?
I know.
Oh, yeah.
Gonna see if anybody said anything.
Oh man, well I'm just looking at the clock. I love it. So very cool. I mean, between the two of you just being front row to so much of the flat earth information coming together and the people starting to put stuff out on the internet, I want to get to just how you got started in this. And I think we kind of know, obviously Rob must have been just blowing his mind when he started to talk about it. But since we already a little bit know that story, how did you react when you first started hearing about flat earth? Because you must have been pretty young.
Yeah, I thought he was crazy. I thought he was crazy. And then I was like, okay, well, prove me wrong. Like, prove it to me. And so he started proving it to me. And it got to the point where it was like, okay, well, I can't deny it. But at the time I was in school. And so he was like, just make sure that you do what the school tells you to do so you graduate. But this is really how the earth is. I mean, Eddie Bravo came on the show and his favorite clip was one of my dad's clips of him showing all the NASA documents, and it says you're on a non-rotating Earth. You have to assume you're on it just blew my mind. And just people like that know him. It's just so cool. I mean, who he was as you saw on screen is who he was in real life. And he wasn't really wanting to come out and say that he was a flat earther, and I know he didn't really want to, because it would, I don't know, he thought it would give him the credibility issues, but he did, and he believed it till the day he died, and so do I.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's kind of like one of those situations I can relate it to my friends and family that maybe I'd never heard of this, but when they hear what I'm up to and it's like, what are you talking about? They kind of get red pilled in a sense where they just can't escape the, me talking about it, or just going, what about this? What makes you think the earth is actually spinning? And are you sure the sun isn't in our atmos? And where's the curve? And so those little things, if must have been a teenager, it probably was difficult at first to be like, what are you talking about? I don't need this crap right now. But
yeah, it was a strange childhood, but a fun childhood, because I was able to question a lot of teachers, and it was fun for me. That was the fun part for me, I think.
So you started to realize that there was something to it.
Oh yeah. I couldn't disprove him. That was the thing. And he was like, okay.
And so was he pretty? And let's just kind of give us an overview of, because you got to know the Rob, behind closed doors, obviously. And I love what you said, that he was exactly what we saw. Because if anyone had a very genuine spirit, come on, Rob just seemed like the nicest guy. And he was very instrumental in myself coming to terms with this information, as much as I stumbled into Mark stuff or Dubé's stuff, Hibbler, and I was trying to just consume all the information. But Rob had a delivery. It was his FEIC speech about biblical cosmology that just completely wrapped everything in a nice little package for me. And I've watched that probably 6 times since then, just absorbing how he tied in biblical cosmology. And that was the puzzle piece I needed. So, just it's wonderful to see you carrying on this legacy. And
it's not something I planned on. I definitely didn't plan. I mean, I was a musician. I was doing things like South by Southwest and doing my own thing. And then I got the call that he was in the hospital, and I came home, and then they killed him. In my opinion, I have to say that for legal purposes. But a lot of dark stuff happened, and my mom wrote a whole book about it, and I think that's what ended. That's what ended her life in the long run, was, just that whole experience, and wanting to get the message out there, because he was the face of many when it comes to the protocols of the C word. I don't know what we call it, the hokey pokey. We bleep it out in our show, so we don't want to get your YouTube channel in any trouble. But yeah, it was a really hard time, and I'll never forget my girlfriend at the time, my wife now, my beautiful wife, is watching. Hey, Lindsay. We were driving to see my mom the day that he died, and it was raining, and I just couldn't believe it. I've never felt that before, like somebody so real, somebody bigger than like, he's stronger than in my mind, death. I mean, he's my dad, and he's dead, and it doesn't make any sense to me. And he was at the peak of his, like, he was working out every day. His goal was to get his body to where he was in his 20s, and he did that, and he documented it all. I'll have to put some of those videos out, but of him, like, working out and stuff. But he was in the best shape of his life, and we're supposed to believe that, a little something took him out,
I mean, it's been so fascinating to try to piece it all together, because when it happened, I had just started getting into the flat earth, and I was researching, trying to find, more of his stuff, finding Testing the Globe, which is great that it's still up, testingtheglobe.com, where he documents his journey and hearing how he came into this information, which he accredits a couple of different sources. Someone talked about it saying, I forget the exact, maybe you can remind me, was it about the curvature, or was it about the spin that he first heard the question, or which one was it?
Jake, do you know? Because I know recently we found 3 or 4 of his unpublished books that me and my mom were trying to find after his passing to put out, but we found
how does
them
water
recently.
bend? I think that's what you guys said.
Yeah.
How does water bend? And then he started looking into, he heard Mark's interview. Was it on Truth Frequency Radio?
No, it was Canary Cry Radio. He was going to do his taxes, and it was a long drive, and so he listened to Canary Cry, and he was kind of half listening to it. And so when he was driving back from taxes, he said, "You know what? I'm just going to listen to it again, because I couldn't have possibly heard what I heard." And then right after that, he called me. So,
Which
like,
is
you want to talk about this a little more, because I'm still not getting it. And it's like, okay, sure.
Yeah. So how'd that conversation go?
What, between Rob and I?
Yeah.
Went fine. He was the reason I even got on Truth Frequency Radio, which was I came on and did a thing with him, and he still was just having a hard time with it. And so he goes, I want you on next week. Because I went on with him next week, and as soon as I hung up, Chris and Cherie Gio reached out to me. I mean, within seconds after it was over, and they said, "How would you like to do a thing on Truth Frequency?" I'm going, I've never done a podcast before. It's like, that's great, you're in. It's like, what do you want to call it? It's like, I haven't said yes yet. It's like, what do you want to call it? It's like, okay, fine. And I just made up Strange World, which I did not know was an anagram for Sargent, which was weird. And that's how it went. And then Rob and I ran into each other at different things. And I don't look, it's your guys' show, but if we have time later, I'll tell you one of my happy Rob things, which was the Kelsey Grammer story, which I love so much.
Okay. So we'll get to that. I mean, it's completely fascinating.
Story.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't realize that Rob had such a following already before the Flat Earth, and that was with his research into Babylon and the Nephilim. And so maybe you can kind of fill in our viewers who haven't really heard much about him, and give us a little backstory on Rob, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, I mean, he researched Nephilim. I know Jake is I mean, he worked very closely with them and is good at explaining what he does. I'm not the best with words, which is funny because we do a show, but Jake is my right hand, because he
sure. Well, let's give Jake then. He can fill in whatever.
Yeah, all the way back in 2012, he was speaking on the Bible Prophecy Club about Nephilim and the vaccine possibly leading to the mark of the beast. And I think really, you know, a lot of people found his research because of the Babylon Rising book and his theory on Nephilim and the X chromosome being how giants appeared after the flood. And yeah, I mean, he's always had kind of a very interesting eschatology kind of perspective, with Nimrod being the possible antichrist of the end times. But I think a lot of people, definitely the more mainstream crowd, saw him because of Flat Earth, you know, because he was one of the most prolific presenters at the Flat Earth FEIC conferences back since 2017. He had a lot of the cool visuals that caught a lot of people's attention. So the media ate his stuff up, I think. And yeah, that's just I think what, you know, if people are interested in learning more about Rob, go to his YouTube channel, and some of his more popular videos break down Nephilim and how giants came from before the flood to after the flood. But above and beyond, my favorite topic that Rob Skiba would talk about is called the Ephraim Awakening. And a lot of people are like, well, what's the most juicy, valuable research that Rob presented? And in my opinion, that was it. It was tied to the identity of the people of the book, so to speak, because yes, the world is going crazy, and yes, things are spiraling, conspiracies are becoming true. So what is the beautiful hope in the day and age that we live in? And Rob would talk about often, it's that people, the wandering lost tribes of Israel, are regaining their identity. They're finding the truth in the Word of God again. And so not only was he prevalent in Nephilim research and Flat Earth research, he also had the Virtual House Church, which was a weekly study that would dive into the Word of God and scriptures. And, you know, he loved to talk about Yod He Vav He in the scriptures, and how over 6,000 times the name of God was replaced with all caps, the Lord. And he would talk about, you know, all these kind of mysteries. And I think that's what people really loved about Rob, is he would never present himself as, oh, this is end all be all, how you have to view it. He would just like point at himself as a researcher of what other people have searched. And he was really good at repackaging it and kind of presenting it to everyone. So, and, you know, not only that, but, you know, of course he had his 72 episode animated series that it was a love passion project called Seed. And he was so close before he passed away in 2021. He actually had funded a $100,000 pilot episode that was produced out of South Africa, and it had won all of these awards. And it was like he was so close to getting that thing off the ground. And that's when I first started working with Rob. After my time with Now You See TV, I was going to move down to Dallas and be one of his first Seed employees, because it was, you know, a big deal to me to see that happen too. And after he passed away, he kept getting all these awards in the mail that Sheila would tell us about. Like, he was so close. And man, if only he had, you know, kicked it around a couple more years and got access to all this AI stuff, like it totally would have just, you know, snowballed into something amazing. But, you know, we'll never be able to recreate exactly what his vision of that is, but I know Jeremiah still wants to see something, you know, come out, you know, in honor of his vision for Seed. He left a bunch of scripts, and Jeremiah has been connecting recently with some of the people that worked very closely with him. And so that's something that I still hope to see, you know, one day, you know, one day Seed might be kind of a thing. But yeah, that's just kind of a little rundown of some of Rob's interesting projects and things that he liked to talk about.
Well, I'll tell you, one of the most heartbreaking things was right after he died, he started getting these awards. And that's what kind of started the show, because Jake was down here, and it was the day before he went back. And I was like, dude, we need to do something, because I kept getting these messages about how, I still get them today, about how my dad's work changed their lives. And I was like, dude, like, let's do something. Let's do our own show, but for the demographic and the generation that he always wanted to reach, which was our generation. And that's exactly, we're so blessed that that's the audience that we're reaching, and it makes me so happy. And I think if he were to come back right now, he would be like laughing. I don't know what he would think. He'd be like, well, what's going on? So,
well, that's what's really beautiful about it, is that you're able to carry on his work and that it actually changed you. And I want to get more into that. Back to what Jake was saying. I didn't realize you were taking a lot of footage of Rob and Rick Hummer, and you were there. So did you get into Flat Earth through Rob, or kind of give us that quick overview? And then how did you start to become so close with him? And is that how you became friends with Jeremiah? I think I'm trying to figure out that connection.
Yeah. So I was originally working with a media company called Now You See TV. Between 2016, 2017, I kind of was running Christian radio in Kentucky. And then because of that, I ended up getting hired by John Pounders. And while I was working for him, he got me hooked up with a bunch of good camera equipment, and started my kind of informal relationship with Rob, running Virtual House Church and doing interviews with him on that channel. And then in 2017, I heard Robbie Davidson was putting on the FEIC 2017 conference in Raleigh. And so this is the first Flat Earth Conference event like its kind. And I drove through the night, and I didn't know if I was even going to make it, right? And so I drove through the night, and the conference had actually already gotten started. And so when I pulled up in the parking lot, it was a little bit before lunchtime, and I went inside, rushing, because I'm like, oh shoot, I'm going to miss it. I'm going to miss the stuff. And Rob was standing in the hallway by himself, pacing back and forth, like super stressed out, right? And of course I knew him because we had done stuff on Now You See TV together, and I run up to him like, hey Rob, I was kind of in like a bad place mentally. I was really stressed and kind of feeling down. I was like, man, this man of God, I can't wait to go up to him and be like, hey man, say a prayer for me. I'm struggling here today. And I remember this so vividly because it really demonstrates to me the character of Rob Skiba. Is I ran up to him and I was about to be like, hey Rob, it's so good to see you, man. I'm having a bad day, man. Say a prayer for me. And he turns to me, and before I get words out of my mouth, Rob Skiba goes, Jake, pray for me. So Rob was super scared because he was about to go on stage, and he had received some like death threats and like scary stuff for giving his first big Flat Earth presentation. And so I was like super like, oh my goodness, like this guy, I'm thinking I'm gonna ask him to pray for me, and he's like, pray for me, man. I'm freaked out.
Wow.
But man, that it kind of sets you up to understand who Rob was. Is he was so humble and self-reflective, and he was just one of the the genuine researchers out there, and people could hear that genuine search for truth and everything he talked about. And so I went to pretty much every big Flat Earth conference and event for the next like 3 or 4 years after that. Got to hang out a bunch with Mark, and ended up getting put up in the hotel by Rick Hummer, who was the MC for a lot of those events. I tried to find it, Mark, but we had some funny footage in one of the conferences where we had like Mark acting like some kind of like crazy dude with like lights going on. I couldn't find it. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, but Rick's got it. I know exactly what you're talking about. He's still got it. He's still trying to make it into something. Oh, Lord. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, yeah. So I think that kind of started my involvement with the Flat Earth stuff. Is I was kind of like not really a flat earther, but I was going because I loved all of Rob's other research, and I was starting to just like the whole premise of my documentary, right, was to capture the flat earth movement and help it be palatable for people that weren't flat earthers, but to encapsulate all of the underlying conspiracies that build up to flat earth. And so anyways, long story short, the that's how I ended up getting close with Rob. I was at a lot of the events. A lot of the footage you guys see online of Rob talking at conferences is usually me in the background of the conference, being the footage guy. And just after I wrapped up my time with Nicey TV, Rob hired me on as a contractor to do some editing work for him, and we started a good relationship in early, in 2020, 2021. We have some really cool footage that nobody's seen before, but like we were doing script read-throughs for the Seed series with Rick Hummer and my buddy Tony that hopefully we'll be able to put out one day on our Patreon or something once we start trying to promote Seed. And just a man that was really somebody I looked up to a lot. Just over the years, he had a lot of wisdom and things I learned from. And when Rob went into the hospital, it was after the Take on the World 2021 conference. He started coming down with some pneumonia type symptoms, and it caught us all off guard. We thought he was going to get out of there totally okay, and whenever we got the text from Sheila that he had been put on a ventilator, it just was like, surreal world, right? And he was on a ventilator for much longer than most people are, and a lot of people wanted to bust in there and break him out. This how much we loved Rob, and unfortunately the way that the whole brainwashing protocol system thing came down, even Sheila, his wife, wasn't allowed to go in there and see him for like 21 days or something crazy. And just imagine the stress and angst that Sheila was being put through, and just a hellish situation. And Rob held on and fought. I think he was on the ventilator for a total of like 40 days, a very biblical number, right?
Mm-hmm.
Until eventually the protocols literally killed him. He didn't have, and if you guys are interested in a kind of a breakdown, Sheila kind of,
is that the one she wrote?
Wow. She actually probably has one of the best recorded narratives captures of that moment in 2021 of all these protocols, because she knew they weren't going to let him out of the hospital. She couldn't get in there. And so what she did is she started recording every single phone call of the doctors and every single note that the nurses took, and she pretty much proved exactly how they used the protocols to kill people. Not just Rob, but thousands and thousands of people all over the world,
And, it's not conspiracy. We've heard the horror stories now, how these hospitals are getting paid to, call it a COVID casualty. So it's just so insane. And it was literally, as someone on the outside looking at this, before I even found Strange World, and I was hearing these things because I was looking, it's a lot of us are trying to piece together what's happening. And my worst fears are coming true, that you guys were like, no, he was murdered by the system. It's just absolutely insane to hear. And I think a lot of us had that suspicion because of how brave your dad was. And it's like, he was so, you could just tell seemed like such a good guy. It's like, why was he taken from us on this too early, taken from you and your mom? And it's like, it's such a crazy story, you guys. I don't even know how else to say it.
Yep. I mean, it broke my mom. To where, I genuinely believe that's what killed her in the end. I mean, she passed of cancer, and it was a hard battle. Sorry if I'm choppy, guys. My internet just crashed out on me, and like at the worst moment. But it was definitely a hard time during that time when he first died. And I don't know how much Jake got into it, but how we started the show was pretty cool. It's like on the last day, right when you're about to go back, I was like, "Hey, you want to do this show with me?" And he was like, "Okay." Then we became best friends. Yeah,
that's just, a lot of us that were following Skiba's stuff when he passed, we were like, well, what is going to happen? How could, why is it just, is information going to die out? So a lot of us that were just kind of trying to figure out what was happening and still coming to terms with the flat earth stuff, and just seeing now knowing what I know, how Jake was there with such great footage and just front row to just like Skiba and knowing the ins and outs and being so invested is it's an incredible story. And then you guys, teaming up to carry it on. And then obviously you going from the teenager that's like, I don't know if the earth's flat. I'm just, a kid growing up here, and sorry, like you're exposing me to things that I don't even want to be red pilled, but you start to realize it's the truth. And it started to change you because you're allowed to just, we're all go from our teenage years and be one thing. And as the time goes on, you can't help it. As you pay a little attention to what's going on in this world, you see the deception. You can feel and you keep track just intuitively of the corruption. And so to realize that they're lying about where we live, we're talking about the biggest lie of all time. Like the shape of the earth is important because it's our home. And we've been lied to from birth, multiple generations about where we live. And then we can get into probably after the break, why the lie. And I heard you guys, we all kind of know, but it's an incredible journey. And to see Skiba's stuff continuing to live on. I mean, look, Candace Owens just brought up the Nephilim stuff. How cool is that?
Yeah, that was okay. So you want to hear a funny story about that?
Yeah.
So somebody who I know, or I knew after she sent the email, but she sent the email and was just like, look into Rob's. And so she read it on the air. And my wife loves Candace. She watches Candace every time she gets home. And she was watching the TV and she saw the name. And she started screaming. And I was like, oh my gosh, there's somebody in the house. I got my gun. I went downstairs and she was like, no. Look at the screen. Look at the screen. And sorry, I deprogrammed my thing. But it was just so surreal. And then I sent her a follow-up email. And then she did half of a show just playing my dad's work. And I was like, how epic is that? Like, that is the Most High saying we are on the right track, with Skiba News Nation, with TrutherCon, and the only person that I would feel comfortable giving the actual raw audio footage to of all the doctors and stuff to expose the C word system, the other C word, would be Candace Owens, probably.
Wow. Isn't that amazing? I mean, it's like where God says he works all, things towards good. And I just can't help but see that happening with what you guys have been doing and feeling that. And just so I think as truthers and people who are coming to terms with flat earth information and coming to terms with what if this this dusty old book is right, and trying to grapple what that means for all of our lives. I mean, many of us come from unlikely situations where it's like, why would you pay attention to this book? And it's like, well, if it's the truth, then I'm going to let it change me and I'm going to go with it because the truth is the most important thing. And I think we all kind of feel that deep down. Otherwise, why we wouldn't be looking like idiots on the internet talking about this being so far against the grain. But the world is waking up and we can see it right before our eyes. And it's no mistake that I think Candace was like, you know what, I'm going to figure out how to get flat earth in. And what a great way when it comes to the Nephilim stuff and what Rob has already, he already laid a bigger foundation, because now that information is going to be bigger than I think the shape of the earth information.
Yeah, there's another person who I think is very close to awakening, and that's Tucker Carlson, who I've heard be very close to talking about FE.
Yeah.
And that would be mind-blowing.
Yeah, it would. All right. Hey, we've got to do our one and only break, and then it'll only be 3 minutes, and when we come back, we will continue with Jeremiah and Jake, otherwise known as J Squared.
All right. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be back with Jeremiah and Jake after the break.
Yep.
The Flat Earth Clock app has a new feature that will be a game changer. Flat Earth proof flashcards are here. Over 200 proofs destroying the globe. Swipe to go to the next card or click the shuffle icon to go to a random card. If you see an info icon on the top, click it to get more information on that specific flat Earth proof. Click the back button to go back to a previous card at any time. The more info icon could be a website, a playlist, a book, or a video. Use the share icon to share cards with others via text, email, airdrop, or any other sharing modality. Update your Flat Earth Clock app today and start increasing your Flat Earth knowledge and sharing it with others.
Join me, Karen B, for Coffee Talk every Moonday at 9:30 a.m. on YouTube, Rumble, Rockfin, Odyssey, and X, where we discuss everything under the sun. Sometimes we do live research, and I open the phones. It's a great way to start the week. Shout out to Mark Sargent, Steph Tone, and all the real ones out there. And now, enjoy the rest of Strange World with the legendary Mark Sargent and DJ Curious. Stay flat, y'all. All right.
Welcome back to Strange World, part 2 of 2. It is you, me, the always delightful DJ Curious, special guests, Jeremiah, Skiba, and Jake Grant, and Peanut Galleries in the background, which means I have to say, hey, wasn't that Joe Jackson stepping out from his album?
Night and day.
That's right. Night and day.
Never gets old, I swear.
Well, yeah, I mixed it up a little bit. Come on, help me out there, Peanut. He's mad because I wasn't staying completely on script. This is what happens when you have one of those producers. You know what I'm talking about. One of those guys. All right, where was the thing? Okay, let's remove that from studio. All right, where did we leave off?
We were getting to some juicy stuff, talking about Candace Owens, dropping some seeds, planting little Skiba information, which you were saying Lindsay was just going crazy in the house. I can imagine. So it's so cool, and she's adorable and beautiful, by the way. So shout out to her. And just seems like you guys are having a lot of fun, and I enjoy watching your guys' channel and getting to know the the people carrying on the legacy of Rob Skiba. It's pretty remarkable. It's everything I think a lot of people were hoping would happen. So brilliant, right?
Yeah, I would say the one thing that people, I mean, they expected me to be, Rob Skiba Jr., but I said from day one, I'm not Rob Skiba. I will never be Rob Skiba, but I could be the best me I could be, which is what he would expect, And so I get to bring a little of my own personality to it.
Well, people don't realize you were a musician, so it's like you're just in a totally different, path in life. And Rob was into space and kind of like a nerd, a Trekkie. I mean, I've seen his pictures of him dressing up as a Trekkie into all that kind of stuff. And so, yeah, it must have been hard for you to feel like you had to walk in those shoes, because Rob had, decades on you of researching these things and being involved in filmmaking and space and public speaking, and you'd written books. And so I'd imagine if you're the kid, you're just like, that's my dad's thing. I don't even know about this yet. And you're talking about crazy flat earth and biblical demons coming back from the flood and impregnating women. I mean, we're talking crazy sounding stuff. And so for you to even be where you're at today, let's give a little, shout out to you for going, all right, let me think about it. Let me look into it, and it changed you. So tell us how that went.
Well, I wanted to, the whole Skiba News Nation idea was to bring current news, and I always loved unsolved mysteries. I don't know about you guys, anybody in the chat likes unsolved mysteries, but I created a segment called History's Mysteries, which is like, you know, like just things that I find interesting and you know, that people stop talking about. And then our producer, who's pray for him because he's in the hospital right now. Hopefully he'll be back soon with us. Opa, he's 80 years old and he's our producer. And it's just
very cool.
Like if my dad were to come back, he would be so thrilled, I think, to see see Opa behind the desk back here. He'd be like, what is going on?
Well, shout out to Opa. How did he get into flat Earth? Did he fight it at first? Because, you know, most of us deal with like the backlash.
Oh yeah, he fought with the chemtrails. He fought with everything. He didn't want to believe it, you know. And he was red pilled pretty hard. And it was a fun way to red pill him, I will say, just kind of throwing him in there. And then he was like, oh, they're not contrails, you know. Oh, the Earth is flat. Oh,
damn.
So it's fun. It's fun to mess with Opa and Jake and everybody. And then I have a segment at the end called Please Excuse My Sense of Humor, which is always fun. So I have I find like the most offensive videos, Jake would say probably. But it's what I find funny. And so people are either offended or they're not. And I would say I'm sorry that you can't take a joke, you know. But,
I've seen them. No, it's just, you know, it's funny. I think there's a few years of everybody being a little too sensitive, and now I think the pendulum might be swinging the other side a little bit, which is fine. But it's good stuff. So Opa got on board. How about Lindsay? What was that like?
She's a teacher, so she I don't know if I can give anything away. I signed a non-disclosure with her. You know what I mean? Nice. But some big things are coming from her here pretty soon. But yeah, she's gonna be mad that I said that.
She's listening in.
She's watching. Yeah.
Well, shout out to her because
she's in the chat. She said thank you guys for having us on. But yeah, and then this whole TrutherCon thing. I mean, if Jake and Lindsay wouldn't have, so this was like, Jake, what year was it where we were at your birthday in Panama City Beach, Florida? And I told you my idea, and I had told a couple people my idea, but I didn't want to do anything with it because we had Skiba News Nation, and I was like, I got too much on my plate, and I don't know, I wanted like a variety show, and I was telling him about it, and we were on the beach, and he was like, dude, let's do it. And Lindsay was like, okay, let's do it. And so we did it. And so like when you say comedy is, you know, the pendulum is swinging, this year we're gonna have a stand-up comedian night where it's just gonna be stand-up, like big names. I can't tell any yet because I'm saving it for something big, but it's gonna be pretty epic. It's gonna be November 7th and 8th, and you can get your tickets at truthercon.com. It was very fun last year and had a lot of we kept hearing the phrase iron sharpens iron, and so that's going to be our tagline this year. So we'd love to have you guys there.
Yeah, no, that you definitely will have to look into it. I mean, I would love to go. I feel like the lineup that you had was awesome between Candid Truth, shout out to them. You had Dave Weiss, Hibbler, Witsit made an appearance. And I thought it was really interesting about Kate Podgy. We can talk about, you know, it's interesting, right? I mean, I've been following her on TikTok for a while now and on Instagram, and I saw that she was a presenter and she's came on your show, which I thought was great because nobody's safe from their own conspiracies, right? And so she's like, let me just squash that. So very cool. But yeah, it's a nerve-wracking thing when you start to talk about these crazy topics on the internet and you get a following, and then all of a sudden to go and publicly do it, I would imagine, yeah, it's like, what am I doing? She got a little nervous. And so it's been just very fun to see your platform and your guys' vision bring together a lot of these really big names in this truther community. And so it's incredible to me, really. I would absolutely love to come join. I mean, I'm still looking at myself as like a small fish, just trying to interview people and get to know the journey and help the community however I can. But Mark would be awesome, obviously, for a presenter.
Well, both of y'all are welcome.
We would love to have you guys. You know, it was a long time coming to have some events. In 2024, it was like 2020 shut down everything because of COVID, and then a lot of the big conferences like the FEICs were canceled, and so a lot of people knew that there was this big vacancy in terms of the live event situation, of bringing people together, and so having a lot of people interested in putting on events and starting to do meetups and conferences, like I think it was just time. And we're really excited for this year. We have one of the craziest venues I've ever seen, in terms of it's just, we're really excited. We got a lot of cool surprises for people, and we're gonna definitely step up our game from last year. But just I think it's beautiful seeing people come together again, and no matter what conference you end up at, right? I definitely think it's important for us to not forsake the assembling together of ourselves, especially as we see the world falling apart and things getting crazy. Because I think that's what the value of getting together at things like this is, that sometimes you don't get that interaction between speakers, between different YouTube channels. And so when you go to a live event, you get to hear those behind the scenes conversations, and you get to hear all the sparks get ignited when you have people with all these intellects and truth warriors coming together to compare notes. And I think that's why I'm excited about events like this starting to happen again. Is it's an opportunity for us to kind of have a love for the truth and to save some homework time, if you know what I mean, because there's only so much time in the day, and you can't watch every single YouTube channel, and you can't follow every single teacher. But having an event that you can go to hear the most concise, boiled down, important truths being presented in in a interesting fashion, I think that's valuable, and that's what we're trying to do with Truthicon.
Yep,
sounds great.
One cool thing about the place that we're doing it this year is, I was telling Mark earlier, the Rat Pack and Frank Sinatra stood on the same stage, so it's like a huge venue. It's epic. You guys are gonna have fun.
No, that's very cool, and there's room for everybody. And it's nice to see that a lot of bridges are being made right now. I think within the truther community, there's just been so much division, and that's what's, on the one hand, a good thing about it, that not everybody just agrees on everything at all times, because we gotta, like you said, iron sharpens iron, and we gotta keep pushing towards the truth. And I think that whatever's happening here on this earth, that it's going to take everybody kind of working collectively. And if you're the designer, if you're the creator, you probably had that in mind, where you're like, you guys need to realize you're all meant to give each other grace and to share your skills, your gifts with one another, and try to push the narrative along as you're like this wave overcomes evil on this earth. And if you, I don't want to be too corny, but how could you not just see so much of the fear and the hate and the division and this the violence and all this stuff that we're just inundated with for too long now? It's Flat Earth is a beacon of hope. The truth is a beacon of hope. And that's what I think is so cool about it, which is why when it came my time to be let me just start talking about this, I wouldn't change it for anything now. And these stories, and obviously Mark was you were so influential, and I know you downplay it, but it's come on, you helped a lot of people. You helped Rob Skiba go, let me wrap my head around this. So then he could take his skills and then take his whole huge wave of following and help so many people out there. And it really helped me just go, whoa, this is starting to make too much sense. And it's trippy. It freaks me out in a sense, because now we want our friends and family. So what do you think is happening? What do you think's next on the timeline? You just said Tucker Carlson seems to be pretty close. You guys kind of have your radar on other things. I would love to know.
Jake, I'll let you go first.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, who knows what the future brings? I think more than anything, we just need to find things that we love and do it with our whole heart. And I think we got a lot of fun projects in mind. Who knows how much time we'll have to do it before the world falls apart? But we're gonna have fun while we work on whatever's the current thing, I guess. And yeah, man. Yeah, we're gonna keep doing what we're doing, and we're gonna hopefully get to hang out with people like you. Maybe we'll come back on Strange World sometime, or you guys can come on Skiba News Nation. And
yeah, we'd love to have you guys.
Absolutely, I would love that. I mean, we do a lot of roundtable episodes now where we can talk about a topic and dive into it, and it would be fun in the future. I think we'll play some Skiba videos, maybe not on this particular live stream, but just help break down the information through his lens. And I just think there's so much of that still to come. But I do have some more questions. Unless Mark has anything, I want to give you a chance to jump in.
Go.
You want me to go? Okay. You had mentioned that Rob thought that Nimrod could have been the Antichrist. What do you think he would have thought about this little season gaining so much momentum? Do you think he would have found it to be compelling and possible, or do you have any of an insight into his information that was like, no, this is what's next on the biblical timeline?
I'm not for sure. I don't know. I think he would be like blown away with everything that's going on. I wish I could ask him every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he would be, in a way, he would be kind of laughing at the current little season theology, because there's so many things happening in terms of modern politics and escalation of world tensions that go right along with, we are getting close to the rise of the Antichrist in today's time frame, not thousands of years ago. And I think the concept of the little season, while I'm not trying to belittle anybody's theorizing or biblical eschatology or perspective, unfortunately, that doctrine and theology lulls people into a sense of sleep, in my opinion, to where they're not looking out for a mark of the beast. They're not looking out for a coming great deception, because we're already past it. And with Rob's research talking about, as in the days of Noah, so will be the coming of the Son of Man. At what period in history do you see the corruption of flesh like we see in today's world? At what period in history do you see a possible mark of the beast or beast system with cryptocurrencies and the 2045 agendas and stuff? I mean, I get it. People are really excited about the little season theology, and I do not believe Rob would subscribe to it, but I cannot speak for him. Who knows, if he would have changed his mind, but most of his research directly contradicts the little season eschatology. And yeah, we can't speak for Rob, but I can just speak about what I know about his research. And all of it is pointing to, we're literally living in the days of Noah today. And all of the signs are on the roster for showing that there is a coming Antichrist beast system in the very near future.
Well, that would definitely help us figure out where on the timeline we are if they do it. But it's either timeline, it's a time of deception. It's either before the Antichrist and the beast system, or after the 1,000-year reign. It's a time of deception. So it's a little bit, for me, I don't know. I'm kind of just like most of us, keep your eyes open. Whatever the truth is fine with me. I just want to know what the truth is, right? And so
yeah,
I need to hear both sides. So I'm like, is this the final time that evil gets to like have free reign on the earth? And sometimes my mind goes to, well, maybe this is because they're lying about outer space. Think of all the movies that have been put out, all the just entertainment part of it, the amount of lies that we've been just enduring for years. I'm like, is evil going to have to do this again? I mean, maybe, right? After the 1,000-year of peace, and according to the Bible, it's like, how is it going to top what we're experiencing today? And I'm like, okay, maybe it just will. Or is this the final time of deception on the earth ever? And God's like really ready to be done with it. I could see the lure of the little season stuff. And I'm just like, you know what? Who knows? But with Rob talking about,
I can't say he would definitely have given it the light of day. He would have heard people out in their best arguments. And that's what set Rob apart from other people, is even if he disagreed with some premises, he would hear the best of the best arguments out, because just like you said, who are we to say we know all the truth? And I think that's kind of where he'd probably been at today, is he would have given it a good chance and had them make the best arguments possible. And he would have obviously had some really good questions, but yeah.
He also he was the kind of guy who he could agree to disagree to and still be friends with somebody at the end of the day, which I feel like doesn't exist anymore, and it's so sad. But like I try to stick with that model, because I don't know why that had to change. Why you can't agree to disagree and then still be friends, you know?
Well, I mean, they're
sense.
brainwashing us into division. That's just straight up with the political system, the
Right.
red and the blue party, and people are just like so fired up over it. But we definitely shouldn't be doing that on the truther side, because look at how many times, I mean, 99.9% of us were deceived, and then we had to figure this out. And so how far deceived are we? I don't know, but I think you bring up an interesting point, Jake, where you're like, look, don't be lukewarm. Don't be just kind of, you know, not waiting around to be for whatever the truth may be. So if they start rounding people up and forcing you to get a mark, don't get it, you know? I mean, that's kind of the lesson. But again, this is not everyone within Flat Earth subscribes to the biblical narrative. And so I'm respectful of that too, because, hey, you know, I mean, I'm not here to tell you what to believe, just all knowledge is power, and all knowledge is going to help you discern. And so knowing these ancient cosmology, or knowing ancient text, and going, well, what's falling into place, that's where my mind goes, and why it became so fascinating. And obviously Rob felt the same if he was poured his, you know, all of his power into it, you know. So yeah, the little season stuff is it's a hot topic within the truther community, and it's divisive, and I don't think that we need to go there. I think we need to just be like, hey, show me what you got. We'll take it. We'll put it in the back. That's why I say to my Globe friends, I'm like, don't believe me. Just, you know, put it in the back of your mind and keep an eye out. Like if we're spinning, or if you see the curve or whatever, like I agree. We shouldn't be. And it's nice to hear you talk about Rob that way, because it's just reaffirming everything that we felt from watching him. And a lot of the times on the Globe side, they look at us like, oh, you fell for some internet videos. You're so easily manipulated. You don't realize that it's all fake. And then you come and you start to meet people, like a lot of people met Rob. We're like, no, he is the real deal. And I met Mark. I mean, I'm going to put you on the spot, but Mark was just like a lovable guy and so sweet. And I was like, oh, this is a relief, because, you know, I just didn't want to be deceived either by these people that were putting out crazy information on the internet. And so it's been a wild ride for us. And that's the whole point of going to these truther cons and going to the International Truth Expo, and just being like, let's share our insights and let's be slow to judge one another. And I absolutely agree that that's the way to go for now. So
yeah, I think it'd be cool to, like, you know, push each other's events, you know, because the more truth that's out there, the better, right?
it will. Are you kidding me? It's gonna be a lot of crossover. It's a lot of the same people. And if you can't make it to the Midwest, then you go to the West Coast, you know what I mean? And
right,
there's room for an East Coast event. I mean, it's got to be, we can't get so come on, there's room for everybody, literally. And there's going to be a lot more people figuring this stuff out, because I'm noticing on social media how many accounts that every year there's a new person with 100,000 followers talking about NASA fakery, or talking about the shape of the earth, or pushing biblical cosmology that last year weren't doing it. And it's like their accounts are blowing up one after the other. I mean, Kay Podgy, she definitely struck a nerve with a lot of people. Now there's multiple accounts out there, and I'm noticing more Christian accounts talking about biblical cosmology. So it's all just bubbling up like this cauldron of going to just, who knows what's going to happen, but at some point it's going to come to a head, and that's when it's going to get really interesting here. And we talk a lot about that on Strange World. Where is this heading, and what happens then? Because evil right now, it's kind of acting like, you guys are still fake. You don't know what you're talking about. I don't have to worry about you. But once it starts to get a little pissed off, and it feels like things are slipping through its grip, this world's going to get pretty weird. And if you pay any attention to the biblical narrative, then you know it's going to get very pissed off. And so having your faith, and that's why, again, the shape of the earth is so important. It's not going to end all, it's not going to solve all your problems. It's not the end all be all to your life, but you need to know what the ground you're standing on. You need to be able to look up in the sky and remind yourself, like, hey, that sun and moon are small and local, moving above us, and this earth is stationary. It's never been upside down. So then you go, okay, what else are they trying to bullshit us with? And being able to stay strong in your faith is going to be what helps you, I think, endure. So
yeah,
I know it's wild.
It is.
But Rob was instrumental, like I've said, in just helping me come to terms with it. I love his whole aspect on evolution, because for me, that was a stepping stone into flat earth, going, look, he has that whole presentation about the bubbling universes and how it was a probability thing if you subscribe to the scientific heliocentric model, that all of a sudden these universes are going to bubble in and out of existence, and one just happened to pop where everything's fine-tuned and perfect, and that's where we live. Hey, this is our current reality, where they can't explain how it happened, but something came from nothing. And I've heard him say it 100 times, and it was what I needed to know, like, evolution isn't real. And wow, what else are they lying about? And it's like watching him document his journey with testing the globe, going, look, I'm just going to go out there and start doing my own experiments. And he was very vocal when he was like, this is starting to make too much sense. Here's the proof. And so it wasn't just a blind faith thing. He did the scientific research, and hearing the stories and watching Jake, who was there, film these things just blows my mind, because you got to be with him in that time. And then Jeremiah, you lived with him while this was all unfolding. So it's really incredible to see what's happened with his work, and to see you guys just like, yeah, this is true, and we're going to keep going. So that's literally everything that I think about. I think it's just amazing.
Yeah, I see my wife saying there needs to be more female voices in the truther community. I agree with that. Like Kay Podgy, I know that there was an issue with her coming last year, and she said she will come this year, so that's promising. But she blew up overnight, and we just interviewed her somewhat recently, and she was like, I just created an account and it went viral. And I was like, really? Like, that's crazy. Like, she didn't expect to be recognized at the store, and in a way I kind of get it, but I mean, my dad kind of set the groundwork for us to continue what we're doing, and it's a ride. It's fun, but it's definitely it's a lot of work, but it's worth it for sure.
Well, definitely shout out to you ladies out there that are watching. I mean, come on, just start sharing. What if there's something on your heart and you want to just make a post about it? You can there's so many outlets now and resources to just get your voice and to share your perspective, which is, I think, again, what's happening here. More and more people are going to be doing that, and it's going to be an interesting next couple of years.
Yeah, to be sure.
Yeah. When we eat dinner, I hate when the waiter comes up and he says, "Hello, ladies," and then he sees me and I'm like, "Am I a pretty lady?" Just a little joke thrown in there.
Well, I think it's the long hair. Is that what's going on here?
Yeah, I think so. I hope so. Maybe the leather pants too.
Okay, well, you got that rock star vibes.
Yeah,
and but Lindsay, does she make any content yet, or?
I'm trying to get her to. So hopefully she does. I know every time she comes on, people really seem to like what she has to say, and I think if there was like a view, right, that would be ideal, but like for truthers. And so that's kind of what might be in the works. I don't know.
Well, very cool.
You're breaking that non-disclosure, Jeremiah.
Well, I haven't gone too deep, I don't think.
Well, let's see if the chat has any questions for you guys, because I'm sure there's maybe more questions about Rob. So chat, let's see.
Wait, there was already a question while you're looking through the chat, DJ.
Okay.
The tattoo on Jeremiah's face. Somebody asked about that in the first 10 minutes.
I knew that was going to come up. I have my frequently asked questions already pulled up.
Well, it's not often you see.
I know it was during my rock star days. I will say it symbolizes the Tav. It's in the ancient Hebrew alphabet, but I like to say, I give somebody a different answer every time they ask me about it, which is fun.
Got it. So you're trying to do that whole, is it the scars? Do you want to know how I got them? That whole thing, the whole Heath Ledger Batman.
Why not?
Yeah. It's good.
Wouldn't you like to know?
Nice.
I'm looking at the chat to see if there's other questions. You guys, did we cover? I mean, I think a lot of people were really curious about what you witnessed with his death, and I think you definitely give us the overview of like, look, you think he was murdered, and you think that it was the information that he was that the hospital. I was listening to your interview, and you said that the hospital figured out who he was. Yeah, and that there was a nurse that must have been looking him up, being like, this guy's a a vaccine denier, et cetera. And so that must have really, pissed them off or something.
Yeah. So, okay. So there are two things that one thing I mentioned before, but there's another thing that I'm going to mention. So there was a nurse there that knew who he was, that kind of made us feel very strange about the whole situation. The second thing that I haven't really talked about publicly, and I'll exclusive here, whatever. But me and my mom actually put on spy glasses because for him he had a DNI, right? A do not intubate bracelet. Somebody had cut that. And for them to be able to cut that, they would have had to have his or his power of attorney, who was my mom, who would have never allowed that, would have had to have his consent. And we actually went up there, found the lady who signed off his death warrant, pretty much. I can't say the name because I don't want to be sued, but we have video of her saying, "Oh, they were just calling me and I was just signing these papers." And so how many people died that way because of negligence or because they just didn't want to deal with patients? And that's the kind of thing that really irritates me about the whole, that time in the medical system. I'm trying to word it in a way that's easy for you guys. But it's, they broke every code in the Nuremberg, book. Like I can almost compare it to Waco. Like we interviewed a survivor from Waco who was a child that actually survived, saw his dad assassinated in front of him. And he could relate to my story and I could relate to his story. And so we're thinking about doing like a documentary where we can show the two, because the government got involved both times. They got involved in Waco when they shouldn't have. They got involved in the medical system when they shouldn't have. Why was that allowed to happen? Right? And I feel like that woke a lot of people up. Waco, that's when it became, the government is not on our side. They're not here to help us,
I don't know much about the Waco, but maybe Mark can help fill us in. Besides that, I know there was a mass.
Not on air, but I will fill you in.
Oh, okay.
It's a pretty. That's not that deep, but I'll fill you in.
Fun fact: I'll send you a video later. But we were the only media allowed on property on the 30th anniversary because I got to know Pastor Charles Pace, who is he was a Davidian and he still owns the property, and you can still go visit it. And I'll tell you, it's like it's the weirdest feeling when you go there. It's like the most peaceful feeling you could ever feel. And the only thing left there are concrete structures of where the buildings were and a piece of a school bus. That's it.
Wow.
That's what the government did to these people. And
That's crazy.
And Mark can fill you in on the rest.
Yeah, I'll fill you in on the rest.
Yeah, it wasn't. I mean, I know it's a pretty tragic event, but it was a little bit before my time as well. So it's like I don't know too much about it. But that's really interesting that you got to go on the 30th anniversary. I mean, you'll have to tell us what you want to share about it because I don't know what to really ask.
Well, Pastor Pace actually knew who my dad was, which was very interesting. So we were in Austin. We were seeing like Louis C.K. or something at a comedy show in Austin, and it was really bad. And we were like, "Oh man, this sucked. Why did we even do this?" And on the way home from Dallas, because we live in Dallas, Waco's right in the middle. So I was like, "Hey, maybe we should stop here and like film it for the show." And my wife was like, "That's a great idea. Why don't you call?" And so I called, and it was their off day apparently. So I left the voicemail, not knowing it was like the guy's phone number, and he was like, "Yeah, I will give you a private tour." And he let me interview him for like hours. And this was one of the times where I was trying to prove everything he said wrong, and I couldn't. And it was about everything that we know now about, Epstein and what they do to babies. It's all there. And I'll send you the interview, but it is just crazy.
Wow. Well, that's another thing. It's like once you get into flat Earth and questioning, these mainstream events, you start to see things from another perspective, and it's pretty mind blowing how much the media has twisted stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, my upcoming speech, I'm still working on my presentation, but Jake's going to be kind of I don't know if he's gonna like it because I always bring it up. But I think the first time that we were lied to on a mass scale was this lady right here, Helen Keller, not the man, not this lady, but this lady. And I'm gonna show. She had 165 IQ. Did you know that? Do you know she flew an airplane 2 times? Do you know she spoke with a British accent? Do you know any of these things? So the whole thing is just laughable, and I'm gonna expose it at TrutherCon 2026 because it's just it makes you laugh because it's like people actually believe this, and if people will believe this, they'll believe that we landed on the moon. They'll believe that the Earth is a ball. They'll believe anything. So they just try to see how far they could get away with something, just to test the waters. With Helen Keller back here.
Well, dude, we can't wait to see that one. That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
I'm getting back to Jake's "What If the Earth is Flat" documentary, which again, shout out to that. So you guys, if you haven't seen it, chat or out there listening in, it had so much footage of the people that some have passed on and some have gone their own ways. But it was really good timing, I think, to be reminded of what some of these people had to say. And I'm just thinking of Robbie Davidson and the interviews that you had of him. And I'm hearing just going, wow, to turn your back on this stuff is pretty wild after how convicted you were. So, and I'm speaking to those people that, go ahead.
Hey, I have the OG poster I made that has Mark Sargent as Thor in the Flat Earth Avengers. I don't know if you guys want to pull that up on screen. It's
pull it up really quick.
You want to share screen? Sure. And you said you have some footage too. Maybe we can play some of that.
Hey.
So this is the OG Flat Earth Avengers photo, and if you see who up here, Mr. Neil deGrasse Tyson himself is the one with the Infinity Gauntlet, and instead of the Infinity Stones, he has NASA and Photoshop and like the Jet Propulsion Laboratory as his, his Power Stones, and of course Rob Skiba was Iron Man. He's the intellect. He's this, fun, quippy, and also his facial hair kind of mirrored Robert Downey Jr.
Sure.
And, you had Jaron or ODD TV and Patricia on there, and it was a fun time making the film back then. And I have a couple little behind the scenes clips if you guys want to see them. They're pretty short.
Let's do it. Yep.
Let's pull up a couple.
Let's start with the Mark at 2017's FEIC. It's just you kind of giving your recap thoughts of the first conference.
Oh boy, here we go.
First, who are you?
Mark Sargent, Sargent.
And what brings you to the Flat Earth Conference?
I am a keynote speaker at the FE 2017.
There's Jaron in the background there.
Just concluded in Raleigh, North Carolina.
And how did the conference go?
Conference was beyond our expectations. It was absolutely fantastic. Everyone here was extremely excited, and the media coverage was double what our initial anticipation was.
Comment a little bit on the mainstream media that kind of covered the conference and your perspective of how they took it.
There was a lot. I don't know if I can list them all real quick. I did 13 interviews while I was here. Vice, HBO, LA documentary team, ABC Nightline, BBC, Australian newspaper, 2 British newspapers, a German television team, BuzzFeed. There was a French team here that I never even interviewed with, and they were all fantastic. Most of them were very, very fair, and there was one little controversial one, but for the most part, they were just here to experience it like we were.
Awesome. What's the next step for the Flat Earth community to move forward as a whole?
More conferences like this, of course, more experimentation. The next conference, from what we understand, is going to be in Sydney, Australia. That one's probably going to be in March. There's the London conference coming up in April. I'm going to be attending that one. I'm also be attending the Sydney one. I'm probably going to do keynote speeches at both of those, although it's probably going to be a Q&A for me. And then just moving forward and working with the media to get the word out.
All right, last question.
Sure.
Starting with the phrase, I believe the Earth is flat because, finish the statement. First thing that comes to your mind.
No, that's good. No, I'll even plug it. I believe in the flat Earth. I'm sorry, I believe in the flat Earth.
The Earth is flat
because.
Okay, gotcha. Everybody.
No, that's okay. That's okay. Ready? Right. The Earth is flat because I made the flat Earth clues, and it's on YouTube right now.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
I had to ask Mark if you could tell yourself in 2017 any message, like you could drop a paragraph to yourself way back then. What would you tell yourself in this time frame?
I wouldn't have changed much. I have not heard this clip in a long time. In fact, you may not have ever shown it to me, although it sounds obviously familiar because I said it. I would just say, just keep going. Don't answer. Yeah, but Peanut says, don't answer Peanut's emails. That's what I would tell myself. No, I would tell myself, just keep going. Do not let your foot off the gas. And I wouldn't change a thing. I really wouldn't. That was fun listening. I was kind of media overwhelmed by the time you got to me, because mainstream media just descended on us and came at us as hard as they could. And we were great. So no, I wouldn't change a damn thing. I really, really wouldn't. It is the things that happened during this ride over the last 11 years have been all very natural, and I still think there's an ultimate goal. I still think we're going to hit critical mass and everything for a reason. So no, that's a wonderful shot of, again, this was before Behind the Curve even came out. They just finished the shooting, and that's a wonderful snapshot. In fact, Behind the Curve probably should have used part of that just then, because I was in a really good mood, because it was like, oh yeah, we've got this, and we were rolling, and we kept rolling for another that was 2017, another year and a half before the authority finally started cracking down on us. So yeah, that was back when there was nothing we could do no wrong. 2017 was a fantastic kickoff year for us for conference.
I loved that year. I loved it. It was such a good environment of just people there. Like, they finally been given this opportunity to meet in person and talk about like cosmology and questioning NASA. It was, oh man, I really missed those early FEIC conferences. Really good crowd.
Yeah. Robbie didn't even really know until this thing was over what was happening. And like when you were talking to me just then, I don't think I even mentioned that Howard Stern sent a team. Unless I don't think I caught it when I was rattling off, and nobody trolled us. That was the best part about the 2017 conference. Nobody trolled us because nobody knew what to do. But like the media was just walking around going, "This is actually happening. This is a real thing, right?" And they couldn't even come up with a troll fast enough. And that's when, of course, the very next year, Logan Paul came after us. Again, as much as I want that kid to just fall over dead. But did I say that? I meant fall over dead. By that, he was the first one to troll us. I will give his trolling instincts high marks, which was he was the first one to formally come after us, and he was going to take advantage of it. I mean, and to that effect, Jimmy Kimmel the year after that, it took Jimmy Kimmel a whole nother year to set up his thing, and
Jake Bird.
Yeah, with Jake Bird, which I didn't recognize Jake Bird. I treated him, and people are going, "Why didn't you know? When you were talking to him during the skit, why didn't you know?" I'm going, and I was honest when I said, "Like, are you kidding? He wasn't even the weirdest flat earther I'd seen that morning." Even though he is wearing a funny hat and weird, he was just completely decked out in flat earth apparel. I was going, the next guy that came up to me was a guy in a wheelchair with orange flags. I mean, it was way more than that. So anyway,
that was cool.
Yeah, speaking of the trolling of Jake Paul or Logan Paul, I have an interview with him I did at the 2018 conference the next year, and all
right, how long is it?
It's not too long. It's probably just a few minutes, and we can cut it early. If it gets too far into it,
let's go for it. I might as well back up my words. He was the best early troll that we had.
Ugh. And that's the conference Mark took off, right? When you found out?
Yeah, that's the one I took off. If you guys didn't know, when I found out that Jake Paul was going, again, because his age demographic is so much younger than our demographic, I was one of the only, and I do so much internet research. Of course I was going to see him. I knew what happened out in Japan. I knew what he was up to. And it was like going, oh, and I remember I sat down. He doesn't know. I sat down with a meeting with at least half the speakers. And we at the hotel restaurant, I'm going, look, we can't let this guy on stage. And they were going, look, Mark, we'd love to help you. We just don't know who he is. I'm going, oh God, God help me. And so I said to myself that night, I told no one. I didn't tell David, I didn't tell Patricia, I didn't tell anybody. And I said, if it's him, if it's, because I couldn't believe it. I go, if it's him, if I actually catch wind that it's actually him, I am going straight to the airport. And that's what happened. I was like, screw this.
Right, because you didn't want to be made a fool of, like you.
I wasn't gonna. Yeah, he was gonna. If he wanted to punk everyone, I called. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, I'm gonna give you credit. I did call Peanut, and I told him while I was at the airport. I go, just so you know, I'm already halfway home. And so that's the
shout out to Jake for just interviewing him. I mean, Jake, all the footage you have just makes me so happy. It's amazing. Like good on you for knowing and asking great questions and just documenting this stuff, because I didn't realize I had been watching it on Celebrate Truth for forever. It's so many things that you had done. So it's just awesome.
So yes, yeah, Peanut, I give you yes. He was the guy I confided in. But here we go, Logan Paul, ladies and gentlemen.
Intelligent, and I feel like a lot of people, I don't like ignorance, and my worst fear is being ignorant. So I don't want to come here and act like I know one thing.
Yeah.
Or think so, you know.
Okay, so you're a flat earther.
Yes, sir.
All right. So what have you said to him that convinced you to show up here?
Like honestly, one of the first things I said to him.
Okay, real quick, who this chucklehead is here, right? This is his right-hand man. He was literally the shill in the room. He was pretending to be the flat earther, and Logan was the guy on the fence. So this was the guy that was supposedly responsible for Logan being there. Logan was his +1. All right, here we go.
Was when you wake up in the morning and you eat pancakes, you had so many other options. You could have had an apple. And
I heard this.
He's just pulling this out of his butt. It's so
yeah, he has no idea what he's doing.
Good at proving things as much, but I've showed him a lot of documentaries on YouTube. There's a lot of good YouTube.
Well, yeah, that's where most of the the material's found, I guess, on YouTube.
Yeah.
But it's a big uptake on people just doing their own research. And
But,
so
well, he's done experiments with me, and they make sense.
Yeah.
So who am I gonna believe? Like this is where it gets confusing, bro. I don't know.
What videos have you seen that were like interesting to you?
What videos?
Yeah.
Well, some of these people look familiar here. Like.
He's got nothing.
It's hard to point out like specific videos.
Oh my! He never even did the homework.
That I'm intrigued by, and I've seen people that conduct experiments and talk about like
He
bridges.
could have said that guy over there, or that guy was,
you know.
but he.
Man, I don't know.
What a retard.
Yeah, he put him on the
Probably looking
spot.
for you, Mark.
Like, the what?
He was probably looking for you.
No, he didn't know who I was at the time. I was already gone.
But is this after Behind the Curve came out?
No, yes, it was after Behind the Curve came out. You're right.
At least
So
what they've been able to explore and investigate, because there's no expedition that's ever gone like thousands of miles past the Antarctic.
Who's to say I
But you
can't
know
be
what?
the first one to do that?
He may not have seen Behind the Curve because Netflix did not buy it until after this conference.
Are you a flat earther?
Yes, sir.
Everybody else had bought it. Netflix hadn't
Can I
bought
ask
it.
you some questions? Yeah, real quick. Hey, go for it.
Really want to picture with you, bro. Yeah, right here.
dude, they just assume you guys are idiots. When they think everyone thinks a flat earther's an idiot. That's the freaking hilarious part.
Yeah. Okay. So, right. So see that girl right there? Sorry. So the girl right there, she knew who he was because she's under 20. But that's how Logan got away with it. Nobody knew who he was because there was very few people there under the age of 20. And the ones that did, it's like, oh wow, look, it's Logan Paul.
Yeah, so I talked to his producer here.
Anyone he interviews, I'm just collecting not a confidentiality agreement. I just used the wrong word. A
Waiver.
appearance release. Just so, are you okay being in the video?
Yeah. Are you gonna use the part where he says anal? Like
Probably not.
Because I don't think that was too appropriate for the interview. So.
No.
Okay, just a little backstory here. When I first went up to Logan and I tried to talk to him, he leans over to me and he whispers into my ear, "Do you like butt sex?" Like totally out of left field. I think it's because he's media trained and he's trying to, he was trying to scrub my audio. And
when the show's over, remind me of that. I've got a couple things to tell you on that one.
Yeah,
I'm not going to say it on air.
But anyways,
They
that
just
was
went
my
in
little
there.
interaction with.
Logan
kind of a.
Again, credit in that he went. He knew. He did that. He was one of a very long list of influencer channels that saw the metrics. It's like, what the hell is this flat Earth thing, and why is it spiking through the freaking roof? And he's like, we should just go. And then he came up with the idea of making sure that Robbie Davidson told no one, compromised our conference promoter, and made sure he told no one beforehand that he was coming. And then Robbie finally let it leak, only because Logan was supposed to show up at our cocktail hour, and he was a no-show. He chickened out. And so Robbie's like, fine. And he told a few people. And then David Weiss had the pleasure of telling me he relishes in the fact that he came up to me, because we were everyone, Robbie let the speculation run rampant that it was some A-lister. And at one point he was like, it's got to be Jack Black or Will Smith or something like that, because Robbie kept saying it's an actor and a singer. And we were just running with it. And so finally when David comes up and he goes, it's Logan Paul. And I go, it can't be. It can't be. He goes, why not? I go, because he's a professional troll. At the time he wasn't even close to being in wrestling. So anyway, thank you for that. That's awesome.
Well, and it's funny to see like that. Logan Paul was just interviewing Neil deGrasse Tyson, kind of walking back a lot of the things he thought was stupid. Now all of a sudden he's like, are those flat earthers actually right? Like,
there you go. And that just happened, right? Where Logan and is his friend's name Mike, where Logan and Mike, because they're inseparable, are interviewing Neil Tyson, and they're going off on him about the moon missions. And I mean, and Logan, look, he does not have a poker face, and he is actually going after Neil about the moon missions. I mean, it's like, you could tell that Logan did not believe in the moon missions. I don't think he was screwing around, to where the point where he brings up, and DJ remembers this, and it was a great moment. I don't even know if Logan caught it, which was he asked Neil about Gus Grissom, right? You know, the guy on the team, the guy that was supposed to be on the moon, the guy that burned up in the castle. And Neil had a look of panic on his face because he forgot who he was. He absolutely forgot. It's like, dude, you should never forget who that guy is, ever. And you could see it over Neil's face. He was like, he was just phoning it in, going through the motion. And all of a sudden he's like, oh crap. He was lost. He had lost it, kind of like when you forget a band's name, or your mother's birthday or something like that. And it's like, anyway.
Because he did that whole mic drop scene where he copied what Neil deGrasse Tyson had done in a public kind of comment on Flat Earth. And then and Logan goes up there and recreates it to be like, look, I showed up at the Flat Earther conference and I dropped the mic on them because I was trolling them. And unfortunately, Robbie actually hired me and John Pounders. I was still working with NICTV to edit the early release of the fact that Logan Paul had gone to the conference. Yeah. So the 2 nights after that 2018 conference, I spent like 12 hours editing a stupid Logan Paul interview segment where Logan Paul was up in that conference room with Robbie. Oh my gosh. I like, to this day, I'm like, man, I wish I hadn't spent so much time on that stupid little promo.
Hey, I hope he comes to TrutherCon.
No, he
know,
won't.
right?
He won't. He's out. He's out of the trolling game now. He is strictly into wrestling and fake boxing. That's all he does now.
You got even more famous.
There's more money in it. There's more fame in it. He doesn't have to think. It's really easy. He, again, not a rocket surgeon, if you know what I mean.
Well, he's at the Flat Earth doorstep, though. I mean, once you question the moon landing, you're like,
what are you
right
going to do now?
Yeah, jokes on them.
Well, I have one more 30-second clip of Rob Skiba. Okay. I kind of want to take the spotlight off of the troll Logan Paul. This is a unseen clip of Rob Skiba talking about Kent Hovind, and I think people will really enjoy this. So
we'll do that, and then we'll have you guys plug your stuff, and then we'll wrap this thing up. Here we go. Rob Skiba, everybody.
He's the undefeated champion right now with 100.
I don't know if they can hear it.
That's as high as it goes.
Is because he's going up against atheism and evolution. He has the Bible on his side. He doesn't have the Bible on his side with heliocentricity. And I don't believe he has the Bible on his side with the globe Earth either.
It's not hard to.
Is that the Bible? Did you know from the Bible before?
I was a fan of Jehovah.
So,
especially his earlier one.
do you get her into this?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So just a little taste. You know, I got probably hours of unseen stuff of Rob that one day we'll probably post on our Skiba News Nation Patreon. So you guys definitely go over and subscribe to Skiba News Nation if you want to check out the What If the Earth is Flat documentary, and also check out truthercon.com. Our conference is going to be even more epic than last year, and we're going to start posting our sessions that we recorded on our channel for everybody to watch for free, just to get a taste of what we have going on this coming year. And any other things, Jeremiah, you want to plug?
It'll be November 7th and 8th, Dallas, Texas. It's going to be epic. And we choose Dallas, Texas every year because that's the first place the word conspiracy theorist was used to demonize people like us. So we're taking it back. Yep.
Very good.
Wow. So wonderful to have you both here. And just thank you for just continuing doing what you're doing. I think a lot of prayers have been answered when it came right down to it, that we wanted to see Rob's legacy continue on, and to hear how it's changed you, and you're just going to keep pushing forward. I think is just the most incredible thing. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. And Jake, keep crushing. I love all the work that you put into being there and all these events over the years for Flat Earth. And you guys, if you aren't subscribed, go subscribe to Skiba News Nation. You can check out their live shows. We'll post a link in our once this post. And wow, what a great time. Thank you so much for being here.
Well, it's an honor. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, it's great to hang out, guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
You guys are always welcome on our show.
Right on. Well, no, we'll make a day out of it. It'll be fun. We will be back next week, same flat time, same flat channel. DJ, have you posted Strange Lounge into the chat yet?
I will do that shortly. Thank you for reminding me. So yes, if you're not ready to say goodnight, then you can come join us in the Strange Lounge, which is on my small little channel called DJ Curious. And we will just kind of have the after party for the Strange World. All are welcome. So I will post that in chat in a moment.
So we'll be back next week, same flat time, same flat channel. Say goodnight, DJ.
Good night, Strange World. Stay strong, stay strange, and stay curious.
Say goodnight, Jeremiah.
Good night. Adios, amigos.
Say goodnight, Jake.
Hasta luego.
Oh, we are going to be a bilingual channel pretty soon, apparently. Yeah, that's it. So we're going to go out with Alex Lowry's song. You guys stay with us for the 3 minutes while the song plays out, and then we'll let you go, okay?
Cool.
So where the hell is it? There it is.
Right.
There's one more for you.
of chasing stars all over again. There's words for what you got, what you have, and what you'll ever need. There's love so many nights, so many nights, so many ways to believe.
Paige needs to get into her PJs with her cup of cocoa and her 6 marshmallows. Night, Mark.
Hey, Karen, you're not on tonight. Karen,
where were you?
Mike Jack. Jack.
You realize it's the same link every week. It never changes.
Yeah, I know. I should paste it somewhere, I think.
If you made it this far, cartoons.